Hi friends, what is up and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can tell from the title of today's video, I'm doing a tag video. I haven't done a tag in a really long time. This is called the mixed bag tag. I will leave Jessica's video down below. You guys should definitely subscribe to her. First off, the fact that she came up with this, I really appreciate, but also Jessica's just such a fun, loving, like her content is really energetic and I definitely appreciate that as opposed to me who just sits here and is like, hey guys, what's up? Let's talk about this book. So I really appreciate active people in the community and I cannot wait to do this. If you guys would like to do it, I'll leave her original video down below. I'm gonna tag a few people in the description of this video. So if you see yourself tagged, consider yourself tagged, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So the first question is, who are you? I am Jess. If you are new here, my name is Jessica. Everybody calls me Jess. My family calls me Jessie for some reason, and I don't really understand why. My name is just Jess. I've actually been considering getting it changed to just Jess. So we'll see if that ever actually happens. I am 29. I live in Ohio. I am a single cat mom. I take care of my cats. That's literally my life. I work, I do YouTube, I read books and play video games, and that's about the extent of it. Number 2, when was the first time you saw yourself in a book? The actual first time I ever saw myself in a book, this is a little bit weird. I, for some reason, don't have it over here. It would actually be Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. I'll put a picture here on the screen for you guys. I loved this book. Now, this isn't necessarily the most diverse book on the planet, and this is more a tag about diversity, but this is the first book that I truly saw myself in a different way. Now, I read books that have bisexual representation because obviously I am bisexual, but I'm white, so there's not a whole lot of representation when it comes to that. I'm represented a lot in literature that way, but Hazel was a completely different animal altogether. Hazel is very manic in a way. She does like to do things spur of the moment. She is very fun, but there's also a lot with Hazel where a lot of the time people in her life decide that she's too much. Dealing with her is too much. Her craziness, her ability to just go and change her mind. Like, I identified with that so much. It's so sad to think about, but a lot of the time people in my life think that I'm fun and cool to hang out with, but when you hang out with me on a daily basis, like I do, it's kind of hard to deal with like a brain that runs rampant. And I don't have ADD or anything. A lot of people try to diagnose me with that. And it's really funny that I'm very manic. I am bipolar. I do have depression, and a lot of the time my depressive episodes last for a couple of weeks, but my mania will last anywhere up to 3 months. And it's kind of evened out as I've gotten older. It used to be once a week, it would kind of change. So a lot of that, and I saw that in Hazel, was a lot of her mania, and I really liked how it was represented in that book, and I really felt seen in that way. Number 3, what is a book that you loved that was placed in a different country or written by an author in a different country? That is actually really, really easy for me. This is actually an Own Voices book. It is a completely Asian cast written by a completely Asian author, and that would be Want by Cindy Pon. This is a Chinese book. So the main characters are all Chinese. I think a few of them are also Japanese, but primarily this does take place in China. This book actually follows our main character, Jason. That is his adoptive name. That's kind of his name that he uses to go undercover. And he is trying to get affordable air purification to all citizens as opposed to just the elite, which wear this suit, which Jason is clearly wearing on the front of the cover. I loved this. Even though it is a Chinese cast, even though it's written by a Chinese author, I really enjoyed it. I obviously didn't identify with a whole lot of what was happening, but I do appreciate that a lot of the time Cindy talks about the foods that they are eating or what's kind of happening in the surroundings and a lot of culture, and I loved that. So this is the first book that really came to mind when it came to obviously like Asian author, Asian cast, Asian setting. Fucking loved it. Number 4, what is an underrated diverse book that you loved that needs more attention? This is a very, very easy answer for me. It'd be A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. I keep wanting to say A Bad Deal for the Whole Galaxy. This is by an author named Alex White. Yes, this is diverse. Now, Alex is non-binary. They go by they, and I loved this book. Now, this does have 2 lesbian characters in it, and I feel like the representation for that is done incredibly well. Now, this book is touted as just a science fiction, kind of meets fantasy book. It's about a group of people who are trying to essentially stop the ending of the world. There is big baddies in here that are more fantasy-based, and looking at it, you would think that that's what the book is about, but it's about more than that. The thing that really appeals to me about Alex's writing is they do characters so fucking well, and the diversity in this book when it comes to our 2 main characters that are gay, I really liked that. Nyla and Orna are a cute couple. They are wonderful characters, and just being gay is like just a part of them, and it's done so well in this. And I really like representation that isn't super heavy-handed. Sometimes it needs to be heavy-handed. Sometimes it really needs to be in your face. And I really liked the subtlety of this as well. And I feel like this is just an underrated, diverse book, and I wish more people were talking about it. Number 5, what book have you read that has had great LGBT rep? This is pretty easy for me. I've been trying to read a lot more LGBT books recently, but the one that really sprung to mind that I truly, truly loved was autobiography. This is Bisexual Rep. And the reason why I truly loved this is because the main authors, or the authors, Christina Lauren, they are 2 women who wrote this, did a really good job of dispelling a lot of, I would say, like, I don't know, just a lot of things that people think about bisexual people. I feel like a lot of the times we're supposed to be the hoes. We're supposed to be the ones who, like, we can choose from whatever, so we'll sleep with whatever. And we're kind of touted as being very loose in a way. And this book really dispelled that. There's actually, our main character Tanner and his best friend Autumn sort of have a relationship, and Tanner goes, I don't really want to pursue this with you. And he does fall in love with a boy named Sebastian. And a lot of the book is Autumn making it apparent to Tanner that she loves him and she still wants to be with him. And, you know, even though they didn't have a very, you know, like a very in-depth relationship in that way, like a sexual or relationship, he's very much so just like, I'm just not interested. And I feel like this really dispelled that belief that bisexual people are kind of hoes. And I really appreciated that about this book. So I feel like other than the main character being bisexual and one of the other characters being gay, I feel like it just was great bisexual rep in the fact that it just dispels a lot of that myth as well. So question number 6 is, what book features a character with a different cultural background than you that you loved? That is very, very easy for me. That would have to be one of the most beautiful books that I own, Pride. This is a book that follows our main character, and her name is Zuri, and she is a Afro-Latina, and she lives in New York. And I loved this book. So completely different life than I have ever lived. Completely different. Like, there's a lot of like dancing and like cultural stuff in this book that obviously it does not mirror my life at all. There's nothing about my life in this book. And I loved this book. I feel like the characters are really well done. I love the little story. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling, obviously with Afro-Latina, and I fucking loved it. I think that if you're looking for a Pride and Prejudice retelling with a little bit of representation, a bit of representation, I think you'd really like this. And it's a POC own voices book as well, so I definitely appreciate that. Next question is number 7. What do you want to see represented more in books? So for me, what I would like to see represented more in books, which we're getting a lot more of recently, is autistic rep. I have 2 younger brothers who are autistic, and recently I have read one book that I really, really liked is called The Kiss Quotient. Main character is autistic, and I really vibed with the book. Like, obviously I'm not autistic, but having 2 younger brothers, I feel like it's really a necessity to be able to see yourself in books, and not just like, I mean, obviously we need more authors of color, we need more characters of color, we need more characters from all different backgrounds, but I feel like it's really nice to have any kind of like mental disability rep. So like autism, depression, insomnia, yes, I'm counting insomnia, OCD, I really, really liked that as well. So I just want more of that, more of like the mental health rep. I think that that is something that I would really, really like to see, because I feel like there is an upswing of LGBT and there is an upswing of people of color, but I would really like to see mental illness represented in a good way. It's been a long time since I've read a book that really handled that well. The last one I would say is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. And that's because John Green does have OCD. So it really bugged me when people were like, oh, she has severe anxiety. And I'm like, no, bitch, she has OCD. She has the same OCD I have. And oh my God, people are like, I can't read about her severe anxiety and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't represented well because it's not anxiety, it's fucking OCD. So I would love to see more mental health books that we can really look at and be like, I see myself in this. And I would recommend this to you if you have it. I wish I had a laundry list of books that I could do for that, but unfortunately I don't. So number 8 is, what is your favorite diverse book ever? Now I'm gonna go back to this again. I'm not really gonna stand here for very long, but A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. I obviously really, really liked the characters in this book. I would give a nod to The Kiss Quotient, which I do have somewhere over here. I really liked this as well. I feel like the autism rep in this is fantastic. So really these 2 are my favorite. So LGBT rep in this one, autism rep in this. I feel like if you're looking for either one of those, this is done in a very casual way. The characters are just, you know, gay, and there's a lot of science fiction and fantasy happening, and this one is very much so centered on our main character's autism. So if you're looking for more autism rep, this is a good choice. Number 9, what is a diverse book that you are looking forward to coming out soon? I don't know, honestly. I don't really stay up to date on releases that are really getting me excited. Unfortunately, it's easy to find like fantasy YA stuff because obviously it's all over Instagram, but I feel like diverse reads aren't spoken about that much. If you have any diverse reads that are coming out soon that you know of, let me know down below and why I should read them and why I should check them out, other than obviously supporting diverse voices. All right, number 10, what diverse book are you reading right now? That I actually have 2 answers for. So I am reading What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. This is about 2 little gay boys and their love story, and I'm really liking it. I'm about 40-50 pages into it, and I really like it. It's like a meet cute, and then they get separated and they're trying to like find their way back to each other and wondering if the other one is thinking about them. It does take place in New York, definitely something I'm really, really liking. The book that I'm actually getting ready to start today is The Bride Test, and The Bride Test is about a man who is autistic and his Vietnamese mother is trying to get him to settle down, but he just doesn't feel like he can care about another person, because a lot of autistic people do suffer with the belief that they are unable to connect or truly love another human, and my little brothers do suffer from that as well, and I see within them their ability and their capability to love. So really excited to read this because the main character's mom actually goes to Vietnam and essentially gets him a mail order bride, and they try to have a relationship, and she tries to convince him that there isn't anything wrong with him, because there's not. Just because your brain works a little bit differently doesn't mean you are broken. So I really appreciate that, and I am really looking forward to reading this. I actually got this in Book of the Month. I got this book and The Kiss Quotient from Book of the Month, and they are the most beautiful books. Like, I love the cartoon drawings on these. I don't know, I just really like these covers, and I'm really excited to start this tonight, actually. And number 11 is tag people. Like I said, I will do that down below, so if you see yourself down there, consider yourself tagged. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jessica, for creating this tag. It must run in our name. I think having the name Jessica just means you're destined for great things. But I love you guys a lot. Thank you for watching. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!